So first of all, I'd like to ask you, what is the organization's work on refugees from North Korea?
My organization name is called Association for the Rescuing of North Korea Abductees. We work for rescuing North Korean foreign abductees by North Korean government. But because we based in Thailand, northern Thailand, and many North Korean refugees coming into Thailand also, and they are all victims of the human rights violation by North Korean government, we also try to help the North Korean refugees also.
Why is it they come here in Thailand and Bangkok? What makes this place so popular?
One of the reasons is in China. Actually, all North Korean refugees have to go into China first because China is a neighborhood country of North Korea. But because the Chinese government doesn't recognize they are refugees, just illegal immigrants, and Chinese police arrest them and then make them go back to South North Korea. And what if once they arrested and go back to North Korea, they must be punished so heavily. So they need to escape South country from China. And the Southeast Asia is sometimes good to escape for them means the weather. In northern China, the weather in the winter is very, very cold. They cannot go anywhere.
Can you tell me, once refugees come here to Thailand, where do they go and what do they do?
Because the Thai government doesn't recognize their refugee offshore. Once they're coming into Thailand, all of them have to be arrested by Thai police first. And after they are arrested, the Thai police will send them to the court, and all of them must be sentenced as a fine, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 baht for each. And after they paid that fine, they sent to the local detention center, immigration center, usually in the northern Thailand. They spend several weeks there, and after that they sent to the central detention center in the Bangkok immigration office. They wait. After they reach to Bangkok immigration detention center, they can contact through the South Korean officials, embassy officials.
What can you tell me about the case of the Thai woman who was allegedly abducted from Chiang Mai, Anocha Panjoy?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about her case and explain that?
Yes, Ms. Anocha Panjoy is a Thai native born in Chiang Mai, the biggest city in northern Thailand. And now she's 55 years old. She is abducted by North Korean government. She disappeared in Macau in 1976 when she went to work there. And after she disappeared, nobody knows why she disappeared and where she went. But in 2005, Mr. Charles Robert Jenkins from the American Army spent his life for almost 40 years in North Korea. She said he met a Thai woman abducted from Macau. She's a Thai native born in northern Thailand. And he brought her picture also. The picture took on the beach in North Korea. And this is a real concrete evidence that Anocha Panjoy just in North Korea. And Thai government confirmed that the citizen registration of Anocha Panjoy also, and recognized the woman, Mr. Jenkins, gave the testimony. That is Ms. Anocha Panjoy, officially confirmed by Thai government.
Is this a rare case that
as we know, at least North Korean abduction is happening not only Thailand, at least 11 countries in the world. Yes, including North Korea, South Korea, Japan, Thailand, Macau, Singapore, Malaysia, Romania, maybe Lebanon, and maybe France and Holland, Dutch also. Yeah.
And where do these people go? What do they use them for?
It depends. From the cases happen with Japanese, so many Japanese abducted used as a teacher of spies.
Okay.
Yeah. Or sometimes teach some special skill to North Korean officers. Yeah. And from the testimony of Mr. Jenkins, Anocha Panjoy also went to teach Thai language for North Korean officials.
Can you tell me what is the latest situation going on in North Korea and refugees?
After that Kim Jong-il's death in last December, first 3 or 4 months, the numbers of refugees coming into Thailand is getting less. But after that, maybe after April or May, the numbers of the North Korean refugees come across the border from Laos to Thailand is increasing, getting more and more. Last year, as in my estimation, around 2,000 refugees, North Korean refugees came into Thailand. In first, so the numbers this year is not clear yet, but as I think, that should not be less than last year. Yeah, this is the situation. A woman came here 3 or 4 years ago. She spent 5 years since he departed his hometown in North Korea to come to Thailand. She was sold 3 times during his past stay in China as in a small village in China, and because she has no status in China, she cannot go to the police. If she go to the police, Chinese police will arrest her. So she cannot ask any help to Chinese authorities.
So currently, what are you and the organization doing for North Korean refugees?
For North Korean refugees, I don't help each cases coming into Thailand. Usually I don't meet any particular refugees in Thailand, but we investigate the situation, total picture, and sometimes we push this issue to Thai government to include the situation, or sometimes if we see the budget shortage in the local police station, we sometimes donate the medicines or clothes or something like that.